Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. Quick info before we begin. In today's video we have two stories and both of them have updates. Now let's get started with the first one. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice and it's by user ToodlesMcGee93. My 24 female best friend, 23 female, is doing something I don't agree with in regards to her ex-boyfriend. Do I need to say something to the ex? I have a best friend, Kimberly, that I've known since preschool. Inseparable ever since. She's like the sister I've never had, etc. You get the picture. Anyways, Kimberly has had a few boyfriends over the years, but her first serious one, her first love, was Kyle. They met senior year in college. They were not so crazy about each other. I became friends with Kyle by association. He's a pretty good dude and I liked him as my friend. They were together for almost 2 years when Kimberly broke up with him. It wasn't over anything scandalous or terrible, it was just basic but unsurmountable incompatibility. One wants kids, the other is child-free, and they both have very different sex drives. Even though Kimberly initiated the breakup, she was absolutely crushed and devastated. She had wanted to marry Kyle, and he wanted to marry her, but realized it would never work in the long run and better to end it now than drag it out for years or get married and then get divorced. I was proud of her, but I hurt right along with her. It was just a sad and crappy situation because both of them are good people, just not right for each other. It messed her up badly and took her a very long time to recover from it. Almost a year later, Kimberly cautiously decided to go on a date with a guy she met at a rock climbing gym. They hit it off, sparks flew, and they have now been dating for almost 3 months. I am very happy for my friend. I haven't met her new boyfriend yet, but he seems to be very good for her. It's the first time since the breakup that I've seen her truly happy and smiling again, and I thought she was finally over Kyle. Until 3 days ago, we were having a girls' night, drinking wine, watching horrible chick flicks, playing Mario Kart, and having lots of girl talk. And she mentions, after a couple of glasses, how even though she is super happy with her new boyfriend, she just can't stop logging into Kyle's Facebook account. I was like, what? What are you talking about? Kimberly says she still has Kyle's Facebook password and she has been logging into his Facebook. I can't remember if they blocked each other or just unfriended each other after the breakup for a year, sometimes to see what he's up to. I immediately told her what she was doing is super shady and creepy for one, and two, kind of disloyal to her current boyfriend. Kimberly got kinda defensive and said she didn't agree, that it was harmless and she just wanted to see what is going on with Kyle sometimes without having to talk to him directly. She also said that in the beginning she was logging in way too much, almost daily, but over time she has slowly scaled back and ever since she met her boyfriend she only logs in a few times a month. I told her it was still wrong and she needs to stop it now. How would she feel if her boyfriend was logging into his ex's social media? How would she feel if Kyle was logging into hers? She got flippant and said she wouldn't care, and speaking of which, why did I care so much? Maybe I should mind my own business. The night was kind of ruined after that, and because Kimberly had been drinking, I told her she could crash on my couch, but I was going to bed. She left in the morning. So here it is, 3 days later, and I'm wondering what to do. I'm actually still friends with Kyle on Facebook and I've been thinking of sending him a PM saying something about this. I haven't really figured out the right words though. On the other hand, I feel disloyal to Kimberly for going behind her back and talking to her ex and ratting her out. Plus, I'm worried that Kyle will rat me out to Kimberly and our friendship will be jeopardized. It's the last thing I want, or that Kyle will be weirded out by me or not believe me. We haven't really talked since the breakup, just the occasional like on some of each other's statuses and pictures. I'm wondering if this is really even any of my business and if I should just stay out of it altogether and if I'm completely out of line to say anything. Well, OP, the good thing is that if Kimberly didn't think that what she was doing was wrong or that she didn't know that what she was doing was wrong, she wouldn't have gotten so defensive. So at least that's kind of a positive because she is still doing a wrong thing and it's creepy as F. Now, her defense that at the beginning it was 1 time a day and now it's a lot less, that doesn't make it any better. It's still the wrong thing to do. I believe that the best way for this whole thing to be solved is that if Kimberly tells Kyle that she still knows his password and asks him to change it. Now, coming out completely clean about what she's been doing and creeping on his account and logging in and all of that, I don't think she's gonna do it. Maybe that's just me being a cynic, but I think she's gonna try to downplay it like, oh, I just checked if your password still worked or whatever, and it did, so here I'm letting you know that you should change it. Something like that, I'm guessing. Now, the other thing that she needs to do is try to find a way to get some real closure, because she's still hung up on him if she's checking up on him. I mean, that's already bad enough, but now she's also lying to a new boyfriend of 3 months. That's not fair to him. Apparently, the pain from the breakup has caused Kimberly to make all the wrong decisions. She's your best friend, you of course should try to help her out, but if she refuses to do the right thing, then you need to set the record straight. Maybe someday when she does get better, she'll understand why you did what you did. And what do you guys think about this whole situation? What would you do if you were in OP's shoes, or what kind of advice would you give her? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Drunk on Martinis says, if you message him, it's very likely she could intercept the message or delete it, and then things will be effed between you guys anyway. If I were you, I'd sit her down and try again, while you're both sober, to convince her what she's doing is wrong and that she should stop. Beyond that, there's nothing else you can do besides consider that your friend is actually a crappy person and reevaluate the friendship. And OP responds, that's true, I didn't think about that. I think I still have his number somewhere. It's just buried deep down since we don't talk anymore. I'll see if he's in my contacts or on WhatsApp. I think I will. Both of us had been drinking and emotions were a bit high. I probably could have used a bit more tact in my approach. I kind of just blurted out what I was thinking and may have come across as harsh and judgmental, which probably wasn't productive. I'll shoot her a text message and try to have her over for coffee instead of wine and to talk about it. Megers13 says, just send them an anonymous message saying change your password. That way you were never involved. I had to do that for someone before, but everyone else is right. What she's doing is super shady and compulsive behavior, like that is unhealthy. Lemon Lime 1999 says, I think you should talk to Kimberly about it again in the future. Tell her that you don't want to argue or make her feel attacked or crazy, but that you're genuinely concerned about this whole Facebook thing. I believe she knows she's in the wrong. Her admitting it to you in the first place is a great sign. She's been probably feeling guilty and wanted to let it out to someone she trusts. That's what best friends are for. After a hard emotional breakup, we sometimes do irrational, harmful things. I think she really misses Kyle. Sad face. That's no excuse to invade his privacy, but I'm honestly more concerned about Kimberly's continued feeling toward and interest in Kyle. I think she needs help moving on. Y'all will work through this. You're a great friend for being there for her. Additional information from OP's comments. I'll only say this once, I'm not going to stop being friends with her and end a 20+ year friendship because of this one thing. She's like my sister. She probably needs help, not being ghosted. I can't get into the wonderful things she's done for me and others because that's not what the post is about. I don't disagree what she's doing is wrong, but she didn't kill his dog. I actually have hope for her because she got defensive. That means she knows she's in the wrong. I said that. If she was totally apathetic, then I'd be worried. In fact, people would easily call Kimberly the goody two-shoes out of both of us. If I was doing something like this, I would hope and know Kimberly wouldn't just be, you suck, peace out, jerk. She'd try to help me first. If, however, I kept being a jerk, didn't listen, and abused our trust and friendship, then she'd rightfully start reconsidering. That's the boat I'm in. I'll cross that bridge if I come to it, but for now, I only have this one piece of information. I'm going to try and help her or convince her to get help. If she keeps being a jerk, I'll reconsider the people we've both become. Alright, well, the community agrees that Kimberly is doing something wrong and that OP should help her or she should somehow tell the boyfriend. And OP says that she is not gonna end the friendship and she is going to try to help her friend. And if things go sour after that, then she'll reconsider things. To me, it sounds like OP has a really good head on her shoulders. So now it's time to move on with the update to see what happened next and how the story ends. But of course, before that, you know that here's another one of my playlists for you to enjoy after this video. Now let's move on with that update. So I decided I was going to talk to Kimberly first, sober, before I did anything. I did actually end up finding Kyle's number as a last resort backup in case Kimberly decided there was no way she'd stop. So Kimberly and I had not talked much since the incident. Very awkward and stiff. So I texted her, "Hey girl, I miss you. I got this awesome new coffee and creamer flavor. You've got to come over and try it." She jumped on it and I had her over. Once we got settled with our coffee, I took the plunge and started by apologizing for coming across as abrupt and judgmental the last time we talked. She seemed really embarrassed and sad and apologized for getting an attitude with me. But also I said that while I am sorry about the tone I took, I wasn't sorry about saying what I said. She was just really quiet and looking at the floor. I told her I loved her to pieces and wanted what was best for her. I told her that good friends don't enable. They'll call each other out if they are doing something wrong, and what she was doing was really messed up. And that I was going to give her one chance, just one, to put a stop to it. So if she did not message Kyle telling him to change his passwords, I would do it for her. At first, she got really upset with me and started to get angry and rage, but I told her there was a reason she told me her secret, because she deep down knows what she is doing is wrong. And I think she was asking for help but didn't know how to because she can't stop. She just starts crying and crying and crying. She said she was so sick of pining for Kyle. She was still in love with him. She couldn't stop thinking about him, wishing for him, even though she knew they were not meant to be. She just wanted to stop having these feelings. Her boyfriend helped numb the pain a bit or distracted her from it, but it always came back. And she logged in just to be near him again, to see if he was happy, if he missed her at all, etc. She knew it was really bad, but I was right and she couldn't stop. I just let her cry it out. Then I told her if she wanted to make an anonymous account or text him from an anonymous number, she could. Or if she wanted me to take care of it altogether, I would. She said no. She was mortified and felt horrible, but she wanted to. But could I please help her and be with her as she did it? So she sent Kyle the following message, helped worded by me. "Hey Kyle, sorry to bother you. I just realized I haven't really updated our passwords to our social media stuff since last year and thought it might be a good idea to change them for myself and that you might want to as well." Basically, she didn't have to come right out and say it, but Kyle would have to be a moron not to pick up on what she was really trying to say. He texted back within 20 minutes, "Hey there, duly noted, thanks for the heads up." I then told her to delete the text and block the number. I took her out shopping, and while walking I said there is no shame in seeing a therapist to help with her grief, and that could give her the start to the relief she wants from hurting over Kyle, and I offered to help her schedule an appointment. Long story short, we found a sliding scale therapist through our alma mater and she has an appointment next week. That night, just to see if Kyle got the hint, I sat with her as she attempted to log into his account to see if he took the hint. The password didn't work. She cried hard, but said it was for the best and thanked me for helping her. Anyways, that pretty much sums it up. I'm going to be there for my friend and be a sounding board and support as she starts to really process her grief. I'm really happy that we both solved the Facebook crap and she has an appointment with a professional to help get a start on things. Per my advice, she's going to take things one day at a time with her new boyfriend and just enjoy the moments she has with him. If she finds herself using him as purely a coping mechanism, becoming codependent, or she assesses in 2 to 3 months she doesn't feel in love with him or she's not over Kyle, she will let him go and give herself time being single, trying a new hobby and keeping up with the therapist. Thanks again to everyone who helped. OP, you are a great friend and you did the right thing. You helped her out, she did what she had to do, and now she's on a proper path to move forward. That's great for Kimberly, so here's wishing the best for her and for you in each of your endeavors. Take care, OP, and thank you so much for sharing. Now, let's move on to the next story that, like I said in the beginning, also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user Don't Like Children AITA. Am I the a-hole for not taking care of my cousin's toddler? I, 20 female, went upstate to visit my extended family recently. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. This includes my cousin who had a baby about 3.5 years ago. My cousin will be named Carol and the baby will be named Lily for this post. I don't like children, never have, and possibly never will. My whole family knows this, so I haven't really spent the most time with Lily when I visited. Surprisingly, she wasn't too bad the last few times I visited her and Carol along with my other family. However, this time Lily was an absolute hellspawn, screaming, crying, and throwing tantrums along with things across the room. We were staying in the same house, so I heard it every day for a few days. I distanced myself from Carol and Lily as much as possible, other than the time I got mad at Carol and a bit at Lily when Lily was throwing a tantrum about something and threw my phone on the floor, cracking the corner of the screen. Carol said I was overreacting. Yesterday, I was watching television in the living room when Carol came into the room carrying Lily, who was fussing. She asked me to watch her for the day because she needed a break. But I wasn't so sure. As I said, I don't like kids in the first place, but I'm also not sure I could take care of one, especially one as bad as Lily. I explained this to Carol and she insisted I take care of Lily. I asked if anybody else can take Lily because I won't. And she told me everyone else was out shopping and how I don't know how hard it is to be a mother and the least I could do is help out. I told her I understand how she was struggling but reinstated my doubts about taking care of another human being. Carol called me heartless and stormed out of the room to go and take care of Lily herself. A little over 15 minutes later, everyone returned. Carol, of course, told them what I did and everyone was being cold to me for the rest of the day. This morning I left because I was getting uncomfortable with how I was being treated and felt like I wasn't welcome because I wouldn't take care of Lily. This was met with sad or angry comments from some, but I left anyway. I'm writing this in a hotel because now I'm having second thoughts. Was I the a-hole for not taking care of Lily? Well, in my opinion, no, of course you're not the a-hole because you are not responsible for that child. You are neither the mother or the father of that kid, and Lily is a 3.5-year-old kid. Honestly, by that age, they shouldn't be throwing so many tantrums, or at least tantrums being allowed. That kid should be learning to socialize instead of throwing tantrums because they're not getting what they want. Now, regarding Carol needing a break, I understand that, of course, it is necessary. But that doesn't give you the right to just drop your kid off with anybody who you trust to take care of them while you go take a nap or something. Anyways, let's agree on the break. Where's the dad? If the dad's not present because of whatever reason, then grandparents, right? Now, if the grandparents can't, well, maybe try to hire a nanny. And if you can't hire a nanny, well, maybe find a friend, anybody but the one person you know who doesn't like children. Besides, the family returned 15 minutes later, so she could have left Lily with somebody else who wanted to take care of the kid. So in summary, OP, no, I don't think you're the a-hole. And what do you guys think about this whole situation? What is your judgment? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Your Missing Lighter says, not the a-hole. Frankly, it's irresponsible of a parent to shove an unwitting person into that situation, especially if your aversion to kids is known throughout the family. One would assume you probably wouldn't have had a lot of experience with babies or toddlers and wouldn't really know how to care for one. It's like Carol thought, who is the most ill-equipped person to care for my womb nugget? Ah, OP, yes, she'll do. My only babysitting requirement are a set of breasts and a liability waiting to happen. I get it, it takes a village and everyone needs a break once in a while. But for someone so tired, Carol sure had the energy to start a bunch of drama. I will never understand people who claim they want kids and then act this way when it gets hard. Individual Set 8146 says, not the a-hole. For some reason, people love trying to guilt people who don't like kids into providing free childcare. First off, being angry about your screen getting cracked is not an overreaction. Phones are expensive. Second, taking care of the baby was not your responsibility and you had every right to say no. She should have accepted your answer and left it at that, and either hire a sitter or wait until the rest of the family was back and ask them to help for a while. Thirdly, what mom would hear, I don't know if I could take care of her, and think it's okay to keep pushing it? Babies are a lot of work, and for your child's own safety, you shouldn't let someone take care of your kid if they aren't confident in doing so. Zoigma88 says, not the a-hole. Asking someone with no child-minding experience to mind a child for an entire day on the spur of the moment is not reasonable, barring genuine emergencies. Okay, well, the community agrees that OP is not the a-hole and that it wasn't right to ask her, like the last commenter said, unless it's an emergency. Now, there is one thing that is kind of related to the story, and maybe this is just me being a nitpicker, but it kind of bothers me that people are calling a 3.5-year-old child a baby. A 3.5-year-old human being, to me, is a child, and I think treating it like a baby is the reason it throws so many tantrums. Anyways, it's time to move on with the update to see how this story ends. Hi y'all, thank you for your kind words. About a day after I got home, Carol sent me a text saying she apologizes for how she acted. She told me in the text how she's been feeling bad about the situation since I left. She acted out of bounds, was stressed, but shouldn't have taken it out on me. And she was also sorry that she exaggerated the story to our family members. She finally asked if I would come back up north to come to chat with her about it, along with the rest of the family. I declined because I had work and couldn't make the round trip, so we talked on the phone. She kept profusely apologizing for how she acted and was trying to make amends. I was honestly shocked but grateful. We made arrangements for a few months from now to meet up in person. On the more negative side, I haven't heard from the rest of the family as I'm writing this. I'm not sure if they're still mad, just ignoring me, or some other reason. I think it might be the latter, as I asked Carol about it and she's not even sure. Whatever it is, I hope they talk to me soon. Again, thank you. Alright OP, so I'm gonna call this a happy update on the Carol front and a to be defined on the family front. The good thing is that Carol took responsibility and she apologized to you for how she acted and wants to meet up to you and make it up somehow. I think it's great that she does this, it shows character, and I'm honestly happy surprised that it happened. Anyway, thank you so much for sharing OP, and here's wishing all the best to all of you in the future. Take care. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out, so here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later, and also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.